I'd like to call to order special city council meeting for Monday, November 20th, 2023. And the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Luchabaron?
Present.
Mr. Toro?
Present.
Mr. Farley is not here. Mr. Williams?
Present.
Ms. Patrick?
Here.
Mr. Polonini?
Here.
Ms. Porterfield?
Here. If the clerk could please read the notice of the meeting and proof of service. And I just want to, before that, tell the public that there's no other business that will take place other than the meeting, the information that's going to be transacted based on the reading from the clerk.
Is the public going to get an opportunity to speak? Because I did get several calls and emails asking.
Not during the special meeting.
Right. Because I think if it was at a regular council meeting, people would have that opportunity. I think it would be fair.
They would, but the code speaks specifically to the special meeting, 28-3.
Okay. We've done it before, though.
The city council was served by regular mail. The notice was sent to them. And it reads, media advisory amended Schenectady City Council to hold a special council meeting followed by the city council committee meeting. Went on Monday, November 20th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. where at Schenectady City Hall, 105 J Street, room 110, Schenectady, New York, 12305. Details, Schenectady City Council convened a special council meeting to pass the 2024 operating budget and capital budget for the city of Schenectady. Who? This went out to the Schenectady City Council members.
Please read the agenda item.
Item number 1 for original consideration, an ordinance pursuant to Section 36 of the Second Class Cities Laws and Article 6 of the Charter of the City of Schenectady approving and adopting the proposed operating budget for 2024 and authorizing the appropriations therein enumerated.
Thank you. At this time, is there any discussion from the City Council? Ms. Williams?
I believe what the public witnessed during the entirety of this budget meeting was trying to understand how to best negotiate. What you've recognized was there are individuals on both sides that were trying to make concessions where due. I think what I recognized from my vantage point was we were presented with the mayor's budget, and then there were a number of council members, I can say myself, that I was not in entire agreement for his budget, and I think that for this process to work smoothly, it requires productive and effective dialogue. It was more challenging than not at some times, but I'm confident that this presented budget reflects the abilities of myself, because I only speak for myself, to try and meet in the middle and present a budget that best meets the considerations of the city of Schenectady.
Is there any further discussion? Mr. Mutabaran?
Yes, thank you. And just to add to that, I mean, it's a long process. Unfortunately, we went beyond our schedule to get a budget this year, but it's, you know, all of us going forward, we should take that as a lesson and to pretty much, you know, kind of work more stronger together. I won't say work together, work more stronger together so that we can able, and as Mr. Williams says, you know, we need to come to the table with an open mind, be respectful of each other's opinion, each other's comments, and at the same time, we should not be digging our heels in the sand and say, well, the budget is the budget. It's been happening for years as long as I've been on this council here. Where the mayor presents his budget, we as council, we have an obligation to the taxpayers to review the budget, to go over the budget and to look at the budget. And this one here is no different from all the others that we have reviewed in the past. Yes, some will say it's painful because we're doing it in public. In the past, and I can say that, we have negotiation, budget negotiation at council members' house. And I was part of that, so there's no secret about that. And now we're doing it here in the public. Yes, it's painful because we have to be accountable to the taxpayer in the city of Schenectady. So I want to encourage everybody as we move forward. Next year, I will ask that we have more open communication from the mayor's office, from the council president, whoever that president is, and from the chair of finance, whoever that chair is next year. So it's all of us need to work together more so that we can able to deliver better for our taxpayer in the city of Schenectady. As the mayor mentioned, we have seen in his budget presentation, there will be shortfalls. And when do we address it? And that's what some of the majority of the members were looking at, to address it this year rather than wait until next year. And I think that's what most of us decide to do, is to address the shortfalls that is staring at us in 2025. And that's what the concern are, is that we keep spending and it's not right for us to pass those spending on the back of the ordinary taxpayers. And I think the discussion was fruitful. Everybody had an opportunity on the table here to discuss. We had department heads in several times. The public has spoken, the public has called every one of us, taxpayers. I'm sure we got our fair share of calls from everybody concerning about the fees, concerned about things are going up, and the service that we provided.
Is there any further discussion? So first of all, I just would like to thank you all council members for your diligence, and the mayor for working on this budget, and I'm glad we're at the point where we're considering passing the budget. The budget is the single most function of the city council, and all council changes, just so everyone is clear, all the changes that are being made by the council were discussed at this table and presented at this table openly. And negotiation really should be a two-way street, and so some council members came with changes that they were interested in, and others did not. So we only could consider what was brought before us to consider. I know that this budget process took longer than usual, and I guess the last time was 30 years ago. But it took that long. We just could not get to that place, but we finally got to a place where we can consider this budget. And, you know, people talk about the fees, and we have to consider our taxpayers and how we're impacting them. And if we want to maintain our reserves, we don't only do that by raising fees on taxpayers and taxes on taxpayers, but we have to look at other ways that we can conceivably cut our spending so that we can have a balanced budget and not only burden our taxpayers. Since the mayor has predicted that there will be a deficit, I think it's incumbent upon this council to review our financial status on a quarterly basis in order to keep track of where we are and to make any adjustments that may be necessary during 2024, and that we not just wait until our annual budget and then consider those things. So that would be something that I would propose putting forward. So at this point in time, no one else has comments? So the motion, the item before us, and I haven't had it heard for a roll call.
It's a roll call.
Okay. And at this time, with Ms. Michael, call the roll.
Mr. Mutabaran?
Yes.
Mr. Toro?
No.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick?
No.
Mr. Palomini?
Just want to explain my vote.
Mr. Palomino.
No. We've done that. This has gone on for decades. And if you want to change the rules, you change the rules prior.
Our corporation council has told us our discussion takes place before that.
No, the council has never agreed on that, and there's been
It's in the code.
There's been explanation of votes for decades.
It's been in the code. It's in the code. So
Regardless,
we're using the code properly.
You want to change the rules, then the council
But it's
needs
in
to
the code,
agree
sir.
on that.
And I would ask you to abide by the code.
Well, then you've not abided by the code for 2 years. So
And Mr. Colden brought it to our attention that we hadn't, and so now we
when
are.
was that discussed at the council meeting?
It's in the code. We don't have to discuss.
Yes, it does, because you changed the rules.
We did not change the
You
rules.
have
It was in
changed
the
the rules.
code.
We've discussed votes forever at this
And the
council,
last 2 times we did it this way, and so
but there was no discussion.
it's in the code.
No. See,
in
you
the
want to
code.
hide under the code. The fact is
It's in the
that this
code.
budget was a ridiculous process. It was political, completely political, because of an election year. You'd sit there and talk about the taxpayers. You've done nothing to help the taxpayers. In fact, all you're doing is going to create a worse situation for taxpayers in 2025, 2026, and onwards. You've taken away the ability of the mayor and the staff to do the management that they require, that they should be able to do. You've created deficits in this budget which is going to just increase the deficit that's going forward. The mayor said the budget deficit is going to be 7.4. For sake of argument, we'll say it's 3.7. With this budget, you've now created a situation where that 3.7 is even going to be larger. You've created a deficit with the police and fire budgets, which you've cut in the overtime. We automatically know that that's going to be more because they're understaffed. You've cut the open positions, which you yourself, just a few months ago, put out literature, and let me read it so I get it right. Let's see. Invest in Schenectady is what you're saying. Restore city services. Fill many long-standing vacant city jobs in the general services, engineering, and development departments. When positions aren't filled, your calls go unanswered. Your street doesn't get plowed and code enforcement is inadequate. Then it continues. Potholes matter. Adequately staff engineering and general services departments to restore roads and sidewalks. Well, that was a bunch of baloney, wasn't it? Since we now have those positions cut. It doesn't matter. You've not created any situation where your cost savings, because those positions were unfilled that you cut. If you really wanted to cost save, you would have cut positions that are filled. So instead of, and you say, oh, your numbers, you said that last year. When the chair of finance, the finance commissioner was asked, where are my numbers wrong? They're not wrong. They were correct. Because here we're using 4.4 million or whatever it was of ARPA money. That's an automatic deficit. We're using 6.6 million in ARPA money this year. That's automatic deficit. Where's that money going to come from? You sit there and say, well, people didn't participate.
Would you like to cast your vote, sir?
I'm not done. And so when positions were brought up, nope. Because certain departments, certain whatever, couldn't be touched. Well, then you really didn't want to hear from people. So this situation, this budget was a farce. It creates a deficit situation, and it only goes to hurt the residents of the city.
This is ridiculous.
Yes, it is ridiculous.
Would you cast your vote, please?
What I would like to say is that I'm not surprised.
And point of order, you want to
I'm not surprised.
Run the
Yes,
show.
point of order.
I'm
Well,
not
excuse me, Mr.
surprised
Farley.
That we're
Mr.
here.
Farley?
I'm not
Point of
surprised.
order. So, would you please cast your vote?
When I'm finished. So here,
Excuse me.
when I'm
You
finished.
should cast your vote.
We've done this for decades.
That should not be tolerated.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
respect. When we've had decades
Gentlemen.
of voting, and now all of a sudden you want to change the rules.
Mr. Colvin,
Oh, nothing.
I'm not the parliamentarian.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not the parliamentarian. There's no question that's come to
So,
the.
I need you to cast your
My
vote.
vote is no.
Thank you.
This is ridiculous.
Ms. Porterfield.
My vote is yes, and I just want to say this, all that commentary comes from someone who has moved out of the city and is now a taxpayer in another city.
I'm a legal resident. Get your facts straight.
You know, President.
I said yes. We voted yes. The motion passes 4-3. Need a motion to adjourn?
I would like to give you a motion to adjourn, but before I.
No, sir, you have to give a motion to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn. This is ridiculous.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
It's unacceptable behavior. I'm not surprised.
Okay, I'd like to call to order
I'm not surprised.
the City Council Committee meeting for Monday,
Madam
November
President,
20th.
before Mr. Jazinski leaves, just wanted to acknowledge predecessor here. Does it bring back old memories?
No, you know what? I never saw the council this dysfunctional. And for those that vote against this budget, God bless you. And you know something? You can quote everything you want, but you know something? You should have had the budget passed 3 weeks
You know what,
ago.
Mr.
Can you please-
Jazinski? The meeting
This
is,
finger pointing, this is really.
that's really inappropriate. You wouldn't have wanted it done when you were here, so I appreciate you respecting this process, even if everyone doesn't. I'd expect that from you. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
respecting the
No,
process.
really,
I'm
you're
down
not.
here.
Yeah, I know, but
On my own
I'll
free
see you on
time.
Monday.
I didn't even get a chance to talk. I spend $10,000 a year in my
Miss-
property taxes.
Sir,
After my veteran
sir.
exemption.
For you to speak.
No. I'd like to call to order the Schenectady City Council Committee meeting for Monday, November 20, 2023. The first order of business is finance.
Thank you. I would like to call the Finance Committee to order, and the first item is a presentation on the 2024 DSIC budget. Do we have a rep from DSIC?
Yes.
Oh, yeah? Okay, please.
Yes, I am.
Sorry.
I didn't know where I was supposed to stand, so.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Hello.
please give us a brief summary of your agency's budget.
Yes. So good evening, everyone. My name is Carney McGuire. I am the interim executive director for the Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corp, DSIC. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, City Council, President Marion Porterfield, Mayor McCarthy. I also want to recognize quickly that they have the entire board of the DSIC joining us tonight. We have Chair Heather Peterson, we have Ray Legier, we have Andrea Cordelou, we have Phil Wyja, we have Mitch Ramsey, we have Austin Fisher, and we have Michael Burns. So we have quite a full house here tonight. Just a couple quick notes regarding the DSIC. Our Environmental Enhancement and Maintenance Program, or EEM, which amounts to the overall cleanliness and beautification of downtown Schenectady and the DSIC footprint. Promotions and marketing that includes all events, maps, social media, weekly newsletter, and the ongoing promotion and support of our stakeholders. And this year, the DSIC proudly completed the J Square project, of which we were instrumental. We are here tonight to present our 2024 budget for your consideration of the DSAD assessment. As part of your packet, you have 3 items for review. First is the 2024 proposed DSAD assessment summary. You will see we are proposing a total assessment of $380,000. This amount is up $25,000 from the prior year. In 2019, our district was expanded to include parts of Broadway, Little Italy, and Erie Boulevard. Most recently, we added J Square and Gateway Park as part of our EEM program responsibilities. When our district was expanded in 2019, an overall increase of $100,000 was approved to take place over 4 years. We froze that due to COVID, like so many other things, and this budget proposal includes that last installment of $25,000. You will see we propose increasing the base or minimum fee from $340 to $360, which amounts to about $1 a day. Those are roughly 470 properties that pay that assessment. Out of the 470, about half of them pay the minimum fee, which is about $1 a day. Private residences and rentals properties with less than 4 units do not pay any assessment. The second page is a summary of where the funding comes from to support our operation and programming. The first column shows how we allocate the DSAD assessment. $11,400 or 3% of the funds are allocated to basic administration. $114,400 or 30% of the funds are allocated to our business, promotion, programs, events, and all of those things. Then you'll see $254,600 or 67% of the funds are allocated, the lion's share, to our outdoor program, again, the EEM. Those are the guys you see out there all the time. If you follow that along to the bottom line, you will see where the levy contributes $380,000 to our overall support. Our expenses are actually closer to $937,000. The balance of our funding comes mainly from Metroplex Authority, along with our own fundraising and our own events. The third page is our budget, with the breakdown of what our revenue and expenses are and how those amounts are allocated to our programs. And this is where you'll see that there actually is some decreases in some areas, reallocation. We really went through it very carefully and figured out where we needed to have our spending this year and drop down on some other things. So that's what I've got, and I'd like to open it up to any questions.
Questions? Comments? Go ahead, please.
Well, I appreciate all the work that you all do on your board, and I thank you for all the work that you do throughout the city.
And I appreciate the differences here in your budget, but I did want to just ask a little bit about the difference in the donations and sponsorships. If you could just talk a little bit about that from the 2023 to the 2024 budget.
Right here. At the top, right here.
So we dropped that down a little bit. We've already, our donations and sponsorships, we've already met a little bit of that at this time, and we felt that that was something where we really could tweak it for getting our donations and maybe changing up some of the fundraising that we do a little bit and kind of reallocate where we're actually looking for maybe more sponsorship dollars.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Go ahead, please.
I'd just like to comment on the condition of the downtown, how nice it looks, and it helps with the renaissance of everything that's going on. Being downtown, I'm very appreciative of the work that's done on a daily basis. The workers are out there day, night, snow, rain, snow, sleet, hail, icing every corner so that residents can, get up onto sidewalks that are maintained by the area residents and businesses. So I would just like to thank that. I would really like to see you move a little further out of the city, up State Street. So, hopefully, you'll be able to do that moving forward. Thank you.
I really appreciate that, and I got to tell you, our folks really appreciate when people stop them in the street and have a little chat with them and say thank you, and kind of bolsters them up. It's a tough job, and it's relentless, as you know.
So I guess I would just echo what my former also council members are saying, because sometimes people experience the city and they see all these really cool things happening, but you could take it for granted, because honestly, you guys aren't really out here, really beating your chest, telling about all the great work that you're doing. So anytime you get an opportunity for a position like this, is very refreshing, and it's good for people to take away from this, that there's a lot of hard work and planning that would go behind all the great work that you guys are doing. So I just extend my appreciation as well.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other comment from any other member? Again, thank you, and thank you to all the members.
Thank
who
you.
are doing a wonderful job for downtown residents. And
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
There's nothing we need to do on this item. It's just a reminder that there will be a public hearing next Monday, 7 p.m. The next item is a presentation of the 2024 Upper Union Street bid. Do we have a representative here from the union, please?
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. I know it's always a hard one to follow behind downtown because we're a much more modest group. So they start the bar a little high, but I'm here representing the Upper Union Street Business Improvement District. I am the acting executive director currently, so thank you to the City Council for their support, to Mayor McCarthy for his support as well. As I just mentioned, we have a much more modest budget that we run up on our small neck of the woods, but we've really been focused, and you'll see reflected in the budget for this upcoming year, on beautification efforts on Upper Union Street. So this year, a big part of that was getting brand new street planters that we were able to fill with flowers that matched the downtown landscape as well. We actually worked with Downtown Improvement Corp and had brought their landscaping crews up our way. We actually paid to have theirs come up, take care of installing flowers that match, just for the cohesion, since we are one of the thoroughfares that take people into downtown. And we took care of watering, so that way everything stayed looking as good as when they planted it. And now we're exploring some ideas for next year that include some urban art opportunities. We're working with local artists, nonprofit art groups, just to try to bring some of what's happening in downtown up to our neck of the woods. We've obviously had an interesting year as being the first location with the dispensary in Schenectady on Upper Union Street, which has been a lot of the focus up our way. So we're researching opportunities for extra signage, for parking, and all of that's kind of into our beautification efforts here. And then we still do have our couple of events that we run, a Halloween trick-or-treat for kids, and then our holiday tree lighting, which is this Saturday as well. So I think that pretty much touches on most of it. If there's any questions, happy to answer those.
Questions? Come on.
Just one, just throw us one.
Sorry.
Again, I'd like to thank you. I noticed Christmas decorations up by in the circle there.
Yes.
They look beautiful. And spending a lot of time and visiting a lot of businesses in the Upper Union Street, my accountant included, that I always like going up there, things look nice, and I thank you for taking the time to make it all the residents and visitors coming into the city appreciate how pretty our city actually is. So
Thank you. Great, thank you.
Go ahead, please.
I also would like to just say, I mean, the events are fun, and I know that the trick-or-treat thing was just, I mean, it was unbelievable how many people were out.
I was gonna say, we had 2 years of perfect weather too, which helped, because it was near 70 degrees 2 years in a row. So yeah, it was wonderful to see the sidewalks full again, and in a post-COVID world, it's just nice to see. And we have a very walkable community, so you have a lot of people that live on those side streets coming out. Yeah, it was great.
I know talking with some of the businesses, they had a lot of fun with it too, so fantastic, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for doing.
Thank you.
And this is also just a reminder for a public hearing next Monday at 7 p.m. The next item is increasing the minimum income for New York real property tax exemption. Mr. Williams?
Yes, so we left off last meeting where Ms. McElroy was going to come and give us an update and some proposed numbers, so she's here at the time. Looking forward to hearing her update.
So I had been expecting some questions, and I didn't really get much from people in between the last time that I was here. I ran the 2 scenarios. I still would like to encourage the idea that you stick with a lower number to start, because if we do have another increase in Social Security in the future, we want to be able to adjust and stay. Like I think I gave the scenario of 40,400, and then went all the way up to 45,000. And I just think that's a pretty big jump to make in terms of. I think making an increase would be a wise decision, just because we haven't done that since 2009. But making a big jump could, it's listening to the budget stuff and all that. I wouldn't want to have that be a problem and add to that, what's going to happen in the future. So I don't. Yeah.
So can you before you gave us the amounts? So can you tell us what the amounts are, and then what you would be?
So currently the threshold is 37,400, and that's the most amount. And then as that reduces to 29,000, that's how the percentages go up. So what I'm suggesting is, instead of 37,400, we bump it up to 40,400. And I had, in the scenario and the paperwork that I had given you last time, that looking at what a tax bill would be for that amount wouldn't be as much of a hit as if we were to go any higher than that for the time being.
What's the amount again?
40,400. So it's just increasing it by $3,000.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And do we know, or can you, I mean, I don't know that you can estimate necessarily how much that is going to hit our budget.
It's hard because I don't know who's going to apply. I think that was part of the discussion last time, is that it's really it's anybody who turns 65, it's people that may have lost the exemption in the past because of a one-off situation, just one year. So it's hard to predict. We're getting a lot of applications in now, but a lot of these are people who already had it, because we just sent out our renewal notices. So.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yeah.
And you think by moving it to 45, that would be too drastic?
I do, yeah. I think it's too much to go, at least for the first year. Now, the fact that the state set the limit at 50, I think we had a discussion too about downstate and higher incomes down. But it also gives then, if we go to 40,400, it allows us in the future to, continue to bump it up if we need to.
Good.
And the 40,400 is commensurate, it's an 8% increase, so it's right along the lines of the increase with Social Security.
There you go.
Mr. Williams.
Oh,
Okay.
Any other questions for us? You, go ahead, please.
So that's the conclusion of the comments. I definitely appreciate you coming back to the council and providing us another update. I know that we were identifying there's no apparent rush because we have conceivably till March of 2024 to make a determination. It sounds more as if the council is accepting of the 40,400 price range, just trying to gauge where everyone is.
Yeah. And I believe there has to be a public hearing, correct?
So, Mr. Mudvayne,
Go ahead, please.
are we calling for a public hearing at this point? Or,
I think Mr. William wanted to know, gauge where the council sits in terms of 40,400 or 45,000 or maximum. I'm inclined to go with the suggestion from our assessor, who is knowledgeable in this field. So I would say that let's look at 40,400 at this point in time, and then revisit it if we need to down the road.
I'm in agreement with that.
I mean, initially, my natural inclination was I'd like to see it a little higher, but I think based on, us not really being able to gauge how many people, I think that is where, I definitely offer that level of deference to you, and I'm okay with it.
So would you like to move forward now, or we can call for a public hearing since we have the information, have what we're going to move forward with in terms of numbers?
So
Or would you like to wait another 2 more weeks?
We heard from 4 council members.
I would support going with what our city assessor is recommending.
As well.
I've already said.
Sure, someone would make a motion that we proceed with the 40,400 based on Ms. McElroy's recommendation, which allows us to gauge how that affects our city moving forward, and should we need to continue with subsequent increases. I think that does it in a manner that's financially prudent to the city and is not going to overwhelm.
So we're moving forward a motion to call for a public hearing based on those comments and the recommendation from the assessors. May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
December 11th. The public hearing is December 11th. Thank you. The next item is the high-back maintenance and repair for 2023. Mr. LaFont.
Are you coming through?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Excuse me. We're here, what we're doing here is actually using the City of Schenectady's purchasing policy, and what we did to provide repair and maintenance of all the ventilation, air conditioning, heating, all the HVAC for the whole city. We went out to competitive bid so that we can get a company in with us, so that there would be our call, and they'll come in right away. We went out to bid, and R&B Mechanical were the winners of the bid. If you see in the packet, it shows you how much the cost will be, and we're requesting that the mayor authorize this.
Discussion. Go ahead, please.
So how long is the contract for?
It's going to be for a year.
Just 1 year?
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
I'll move it.
Hold on.
So, so we only had one person that came back on the bid?
That is correct.
That's it?
Yeah. But we did send them out to all our respective people that we use.
Okay. Thank you.
Still moving.
Any other comment? May I have a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. The next item is the Road Guards and Restoration Committee, potential reimbursement of expense. Mr. Ferrari.
Yes, every year the Rose Garden, they request us to help them with the bills that they pay throughout the year. And we pay them with the amount that we've collected for the use of the garden permits and photo permits. This year, we received $1,795 for a garden request, and for photos, we actually received $1,875 for a total of for a total of, where is it?
Right here.
Yeah, 3670. The Rose Garden, they sent us bills and requested bills for $3,635.37, which is, a little bit below us, so we got about $34.60 cents that we can play with extra. But we're requesting to send this to the Rose Garden Committee because they do a great job. It's always beautiful. They're working very well, and I'm hoping we pass this.
Any question on this? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
I'll move it.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
Any other business for finance?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
I'd like to call to order City Development and Planning. We have 6 items on the agenda. Our first one is follow-up of ARPA contracts. Ms. Carver.
Good evening, Mayor, Madam President, City Council. It's always a great pleasure to be here to report and give you updates on our steadfast progress regarding executed ARPA contracts. So currently, we were able to move, since the last time I reported on the 6th, 2 fully executed contracts from SCAP and Hamilton Hill Arts Center. Contracts that have been approved by corporate counsel and signed by the mayor, and we are waiting for sign back from our sub-recipients, include the Green Market, Boys and Girls Club, and the Seat Center. Currently in corporate counsel review is Habitat for Humanity and the Schenectady Kiwanis Club, and we are still pending decision from the City Council on the BCNI Hamilton Hill infill project extension and the Cocoa House change of use of funds, and also pending the extension deadline to move forward with getting contracts out to our sub-recipients would be the YWCA Harbor House project, Miracle on Craig, and Electric City Barn.
Any questions or comments?
I'm sorry, can you just tell me the extension ones were BCNI, Cocoa House? Did you have was there a third?
Miracle on Craig.
Okay, I got those. I got YWCA, Miracle on Craig, Electric City, but I thought they were 2 different categories.
They are.
Yeah,
Pending decision from City Council is the BCNI Hamilton Hill and the Cocoa House change of use of funds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And BCNI also wants an extension.
Yes, they requested an extension.
So I've asked, I'm sorry, did you have a question? I've asked Ms. Carter to give us in writing in a chart so that we actually have it all in front of us, exactly where everything is, so you're welcome, so that we can take a look at it and just kind of keep up with it. I know that you got it all down.
Yes,
clear.
not a problem. I will get that to you before the holiday.
Okay, that's great.
No, I was just going to say, it seems like progress is moving along, and I just want to appreciate the work that you're doing. I know that this is quite the undertaking, and you've done a wonderful job thus far, so I appreciate those.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Question. So for Cocoa House, we didn't discuss that movement in terms of just a presentation, us request to change the contract.
Right. So
where is that sitting at this point in time?
At this point in time, it has to come back to, the council has to have, they brought it to us, we just discussed it, so it's up to the council now. So at our next committee meeting, we have to bring those back that we did not make decisions on. And the infill for BCNI was one, and also Cocoa House. They both came because one wanted an extension, the other wanted to change the use of funds, and we have to, and also YWCA wanted additional funding. So that's why she gives us a chart of what everything is. When we come to the next committee meeting, we can have all those things before us to bring for discussion.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is a ceremonial resolution to honor Raymond C. Zanta at the Schenectady County Honor of Vet ceremony. And I think it's December, it's early in December, so I wanted to make sure we get this passed so that we have the resolution there for the event. I'll move it.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The last 3 items are, the last 4 items are for property sales and would have to be done in an executive session. So I ask for a motion to recess.
Mr. Brown's not here.
Who's presenting for him?
Nobody let us know.
Michelle?
Nobody let us know.
No one did? Okay, because excuse me.
I'll go through it
Okay.
if the council's inclined, we can work through it
Okay.
together.
I know that Mrs. Davis did the meeting, so you will do those? Okay, so we'll recess now and then do that in executive session. Motion to recess?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're recessed, thank you.
I'd like to call to order the Public Safety Committee. We have 2 items on the agenda tonight, first of which will be briefed by Chief Marino, and that is the drug screening policy.
If the council's inclined for this, this could go into executive session since it is related to collective bargaining.
Okay.
Correct, so we'll hold that for executive session. The second item is going to be the firefighter trainee. Chief Marino?
Same thing?
Same thing.
Also in executive
Yes,
session.
it's
Okay.
related to collective bargaining.
Okay.
Okay, so at this time, I entertain.
So moved.
At this time, I'm entertaining a motion to recess.
No.
No.
Or to go into executive session.
Executive, yeah, already. So
Second.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, there's no one here, I looked around, except the guy doing he's getting it.